Your time. You are listening to Teacher Talk Tuesdays. Dr. Yvonne, author of Look Who's Talking and countless other educational materials. The safe place for teachers to share their incredible stories, struggles, and triumphs. Educational system as we know it has changed. Dr. Yvonne is here to help. Dr. Yvonne. Hello, 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 and thank you for tuning in. This is your girl, Dr. Yvonne. I am here with another live broadcast, and I hope you all get something out of it. I love it. I know we had to break, we had Thanksgiving, and I didn't come on, I didn't go live, but I am grateful and thankful to be back here once again with my audience. Hopefully, you all can join in, you can chime in and be a part of the process. I want people to jump in and be a part of the process. Leave some notes, comment or something. I am here. I'm looking at the YouTube. So if you are on there and you're making comments, please let me know so I can try to chime in with you. But today I want to talk about field trips. Now, I've been teaching for over 20 something years, and I'm just burnt out on field trips. I know kids need them because they can be educational and they can help them with the process and learning things, because I'm a very visual learner. And I learn by doing or by seeing things. And some of our students do that too. So we have to be able to bring all of the education together and teach them and show them how it applies to their life. Because the one question that students always ask is, why is this important? How am I going to need this later in life? Why do I need to learn how to do this? So sometimes we have to take field trips to be able to show our students why they're engaged in doing certain things in school and why it's important for them to know it. However, I have a problem with taking students on field trips who do not know how to act in the classroom or in the school building. Now, when I was in Illinois, we had it set up where there were some field trips that were educational and the students had to go because they were learning something. But with that being said, they had to have a chaperone, be it a parent or an older sibling, that could be there with them to help with their behavior. So we didn't say you couldn't go, but you had to have a chaperone in order for you to go. They had to be there with you to monitor your behavior, because your behavior in the classroom and in the school did not show to be safe and approval. It wasn't approved to be able to take you off campus. So no, I don't believe that we should take kids off campus who are not doing their work, even if it's educational. If they're not doing their work, if you're not learning in the classroom, if you're not sitting still to do what you need to do in the classroom, how is me taking you on a field trip gonna make you learn something? All you're gonna do is get out there in public and really show yourself. And I'm not for it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. For years, I got to the point where we would have, they would say, well, if all of the students aren't going and they can't go, who's going to stay back? Me, me. I volunteered wholeheartedly every time. I was the one that stayed back. And most times, 9 times out of 10, the kids did not want to stay back with me because they said I was too mean. I made them work. Yeah, I'm going to make you work. You're not going to sit back and play while everybody else is on the field trip, because you didn't earn that right to be able to go. So no, you're not gonna play. It's gonna be a regular school day for you. You got classes. Every class that you're supposed to go to, you're gonna go to. Every class you're supposed to do work in, you're going to do work in. So staying back was not a privilege. Staying back was gonna mean that you had to stay with me and you was gonna get your work done. And everybody was like, "Oh, Dr. Henderson staying back, or Miss Henderson is staying back," or Miss Walters, whatever it was, whenever the year was. But nobody wanted to stay back because they knew I didn't play. You are not. If you got kicked off of a field trip because of your behavior, don't think you're gonna sit up in here and play with me for the whole day. You're gonna get some work done. You're gonna make up some work. And it wasn't giving them extra work. It was work you had missed. work you didn't turn in, work you didn't complete. So you had a makeup day. And at the end, some kids got to the point where they was like, "Oh, we got to make up back to make up some work." Okay, some of them wanted to do it, but 9 times out of 10, they didn't want to. They didn't want to stay back. They wanted to go have fun with their friends and do everything they were doing. But sometimes we have to set a precedence. We have to be able to let students know that we mean business. In order for us to take you off campus, you have got to do what you're supposed to do on campus. Now, if we give your parents the option that somebody can go with you and you can go, and they choose not to go with you or send someone with you, and you know their behavior is bad, why do you think we want to put up with that? If you don't want to, help me understand. Make that make sense for me. You don't want to be bothered with your own child and their behavior out in the public on a field trip, but you want us to take them and have to deal with that. Y'all, come on. We have got to stop doing this. We have got to stop letting these students run rampant and wreak havoc wherever they go. It has to be a point in time where you can't go because of your behavior. And we set it up stipulations. We send it out and let parents know if your child violates these infractions between now and the cutoff day before we need to have that cutoff for the field trip, this is what's going to happen. You or someone else over the age of 18 or 21, sometimes you need to be there to be with your child. Had one parent, I gave them the note and told them, okay, because of the behaviors of your child and the documentation of it, this is where we are. In order for your child to go on this field trip, you have to accompany them, or someone of age has to accompany them. That parent said their child wasn't going. I was like, oh, they didn't send back the permission slip for them to go. They chose to say that they couldn't go. But like I told them, even if you're not going on the field trip, you still have work to do. It's not a play day. I mean, the students going on the field trip is not, they're going to learn. They're going to be involved in educational activities that is going to enhance what they're learning in their classroom. It's not a free day. We're not just running around all willy-nilly and doing nothing. It's a structured environment. It's a well-structured environment. It is a organization. It is a business. And it's a shame that we have to cut off students and they don't allow them to go because they don't know how to act. And they're going to get out there in the public and act a fool. But my thing is why are the parents so okay with saying, well, my child can't go and I'll just make them stay home? No, go with your child and let them know, look, this is how you need to act, whether I'm with you or not. This is what you need to do to be able to go on these field trips. But how is it that you think it's okay to just say, well, you can't go without a chaperone, you're not going? So then your child is still cutting up in school. Your child is still not following rules. Your child is still not doing what they need to do to be able to be successful, to even go out into the community. So what message are you sending to your child? You know, we try as schools to be able to give them different avenues and different venues to be able to go to, because all of them are not going to be able to go to some of these places on their own. It's a good thing that we actually have that the district is actually paying for these field trips for the students to go. And you mean to tell me that you can't get your child to be able to sit still and be still and do what they need to do to be able to go? You would rather have them sit at home or stay back because you don't want to accompany them. So if you don't want to accompany your child in their behavior, why would you want somebody else to do it? See, because I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do. When my child was in school, he wasn't a behavior problem, but I went on every field trip he had. Why? Because I was just that parent. I was going to chaperone. And he always asked me, Mommy, can you chaperone? Mommy, we need chaperones. Mommy, can you chaperone? Of course. If you ask me, I'm going to go. I'm participating in my child's education, letting him know that I believe that this is important. So why are we not doing that for our kids? Why are we just letting them think, oh, well, I can't go with you and you can't get yourself in order, so you can't go? But I've seen people, I've been at museums with people and their kids and kids running around doing God knows what. But then you allow them to do that, but then you want us to be able to do that with them at the school, with the school district. No, we're not taking them like that for school, with the school. Because I've seen schools literally get banned from certain places as far as taking a field trip because of the way the kids acted. I remember in Denver, we took our kids on a field trip one time, and because of the way some of the kids acted, they told us our kids were banned. Our school could not come back to that place for a field trip ever again because of the behaviors, unless parents came with them. That's how bad it was. But why is it as parents, you don't understand and you don't believe that this is happening and you need to be there? Literally, we were told by a facility that gave field trips for kids, and it was a beautiful field trip. It was oh my God, yes, it was a career day. It was a career day field trip where it had all the colleges out there. It had job people out there for job fair. Um, what was it? Schools. What are those schools that they go to? Trade schools, things that they could be able to go to, different high schools that they could go to if they wanted to, just to get to that next level. And the organizers told our school that we could not bring students anymore because of the way our kids acted. So there's only so much we can do as a teacher and as a chaperone and as a district to take these kids out into the public. So when we say that you need to accompany your child because of their behavior and the way they act, then you need to be there. Because at that point in time, we could turn them over to the parent and say, look, their parent is here. You can talk to their parent about their behavior and what they're doing and how they're doing it, and let them deal with it. That's not on us. But so many times they want to put everything on school, everything on the teachers, and we're trying to give them avenues to be able to go and help them, but they won't help themselves. We also had field trips that were strictly based on behavior. It wasn't academic. It wasn't an educational thing. It was strictly based on behavior. And if your behavior was not on point, you couldn't go. Even with clubs and after school activities, if your behavior is not on point, you couldn't participate. Now, personally, I like to try to give kids an avenue, an outlet to be able to do stuff, because sometimes being in the classroom, your demeanor is totally different in the classroom than it is with that person who's doing the after school activity. Situation right now, I have a mime group that I just started with my school to do the Christmas program. I've had teachers tell me, oh, this one, that one shouldn't be in there because they're doing this in the classroom and they doing that and they don't listen to nobody and they disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. But I have not seen that behavior during my mime practices. I have not seen that behavior with me. So how can I tell this child, no, you cannot participate because you won't do right in class? Well, I want to, but the child needs to have an outlet. We need an outlet. How many times have we done something because we were bored or didn't like what we were doing, or maybe didn't even like the person that was in charge, and we cut up? We've done it as children. I know we have. People gave us a chance. So my thing is I'm going to give this child a chance to be able to do what he needs to do so he can participate in the program. They get kicked out or don't get selected for so many other programs. I started this because I wanted people who weren't selected in the other programs to be able to be a part of something and to be able to be a part of the Christmas program. They wanted to do something. So I did it, and we have a lot of students. I did third, fourth, and fifth grade. I didn't get any fifth graders, which was fine, but I got third and fourth grade, and I got 21 kids who came to wanted to mine. So should I kick them off because you can't do what you need to do in class? I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to let them know that's not cool. I want you to be able to participate, so I need you to be able to do what you need to do. It's called self-discipline, self-control. At some point, we have to be able to teach these kids how to have self-discipline and how to have self-control, and to let them know that I got something hanging over on you. That if you can't get your act together, you won't be able to perform. You can still come to practice. I'm gonna let you come to practice. You're gonna learn the routine. But if your behavior it continues to be what it is, I don't want to have to sit you down. I want you to be able to flourish in doing something. But at some point in time, there has to be a cutoff when it comes to behavior. And when you're not doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom, we can't allow you to do stuff with extracurricular because you don't want to do right. I'm truly an advocate for students and giving them an outlet. We know we have music and dance, and all of these things are things that our kids love to do. It's an outlet for them. They love to dance, they love to sing, they love to perform. They don't know if they want to perform or not because they've never been able to perform. So I was happy to be able to present that and to give that to them and to be able to give them another avenue. And when I tell you the kids are so excited, I can't wait till next week when they perform at the Christmas program or the winter program. But it's going to be a beautiful thing. It's different. It's something that the school has never had. The students have never been exposed to it, and they're so excited. I'm excited. But we have to make sure that our kids understand that you can't have privileges to be able to do things when you don't earn them. We can't, I mean, God gives us grace, He gives us mercy. And that's one reason why I haven't kicked anybody off, because all the times that we mess up and God give us another chance. We don't always mess up, we don't mess up with Him, but we mess up with other people. But He gives us another chance. Why? Because Jesus intercedes on our behalf. So if our students never have anyone to intercede on their behalf, when are they going to move forward? We have to be able to allow them to move forward and do some things. So I'm okay with giving him another chance. I'm okay with allowing him to be able to make those mistakes and realize, okay, that all of my mistakes are not final. All of my failures are not final. Just because I messed up doesn't mean that I can't try again and make it. We always say if first you don't succeed, try again. Well, how are we going to let them try again if we want to kick them off after the first behavior, after the first misbehavior? We want to kick them off. After the second misbehavior, we want to kick them off. So he looks forward to it. He looks up to it. And I've talked to him. I see him in the hallway. I talk to him. How's your day going? What you doing? You staying out of trouble? Okay. You getting your work done? You reading? Conversation, letting him know that somebody really cares about what he's doing, because I want him to be successful, because I want him to be able to participate. But parents, we need your help too, to help them understand that sometimes you may not like a certain thing. You may not like a certain person, but you still got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. Because you're not going to get a me all the time. You're not going to get somebody that's going to give you a chance just because they think you deserve one and you're good at what you're doing. Everyone's not going to do that. But I want to be that advocate for students to let them know, look, you can make a mistake, but it's okay. You flourish in this area. Let's try to put them together. Let's try to make this one work with this one. Let's try to make sure that you have the same behavior and the same mannerisms in class as you do in here with me for practice. And people say, oh, well, you don't see him every day. Well, you know what? I see him for 45 minutes, almost an hour. From 3:50 until 4:45. I'm in practice with them. They're listening, they're following directions, they're doing what I ask them to do. They're paying attention, they're contributing, they're discussing, they're sharing with each other. So I'm doing the same thing in this dance group that I do in the classroom. The students are doing the same thing, because I told them, if you can't listen, if you in here playing, I'm gonna write you off. We don't have time to play. We have a short amount of time to learn this routine and to be ready to go. And what I love about it is some of the kids are contributing some of the moves for the dance. And I gave them the autonomy to be able to do that. They should have some ownership over what it is that they're doing. So if you have ownership over it and you've helped teach it, you might want to do what you're supposed to do in class so you can be a part of it. I'd hate for you to get up there with, oh, I taught that part. Well, why you not up there? Oh, because I couldn't get myself together. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to be said. So even when we're giving kids field trips and we're giving them extracurricular activities to do, their behavior is a part of what they are required to be able to do. We have our school creed, and I put that on the application. I told the kids, I want students who have this embedded in them, that you work hard and you're going to represent yourself well, that you do your best to strive to be the best you can be. You can't do that if you're cutting up in class. We got to strive a little harder. But I love the energy from the kids. I love it. And they're working together and they're helping each other. And it's a wonderful thing. But at some point in time, they have to be able to do that on their own. We have to start helping kids. And, you know, it goes back to being accountable. We don't hold people accountable enough. We don't hold our students accountable enough. So those are things we really need to work on. I would love for all students to be able to go on field trips. I would love for all students to be able to participate in extracurricular activities and after school programs. But a lot of it is based on behavior. And if we can't get our behavior together, it's not going to happen. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. A lot of the other programs, the people who were in charge of them, they sent a form around to the teachers asking them for recommendations and their behavior. They had to fill out a sheet. Well, guess what? If a teacher fills out that and says, oh, his behavior, their behavior is bad and I wouldn't have them on there, I wouldn't do this, that's going to count against you. But guess what? I didn't do that. I didn't send out a recommendation for the teachers to give me their account of how this student should do and if they should be a part of it. I did it based on those who brought back their permission slip and their parents said that they could do it, and them being at practice and them participating and following directions. So everything can't be about teacher recommendation. Because all teachers, because if the teacher that you cut up with every day don't like you, do you think they're going to give you a good recommendation? Probably not. But I'd like to be able to see the potential in someone who doesn't look like a model student, but has potential to do something greater and give them an opportunity. So sometimes we have to look past the behavior and look at the potential. What can I do to lift this child up? What can I do to enhance this child's ability to be able to do something great, to be able to be great? You never know. This might be the start of something big for a lot of these kids who haven't had the ability or the opportunity to be a part of any other group. So it's okay sometimes to overlook slight behaviors. You know, I don't know. They say throwing desks and chairs at people, you know, that might be a big thing, but you ain't doing that with me. But I'm going to talk to you about it. We can't have that type of behavior and you up here representing the school. We got to be on point. We've got to do the things we need to do, you know, and I've had a lot of practice with dealing with kids who are hard to serve, dealing with those kids that no one else wants to deal with. I remember in Colorado, we had, it was a student another student didn't want to do anything, smart as a whip, but he gave every other teacher hell, literally. And I had a poetry slam. I did a poetry slam and an arts night with the art teacher. And we collaborated on this program. We promoted it. I taught a mime, the group of kids that came out that wanted to mime. I taught them how to mime. I taught them a mime routine. I actually mime. And I asked the students to do something that they felt that they could do. This student told me he could rap. And I'm like, okay. He said, well, I was like, well, you want to do a rap? And he was like, about what? I'm like, it has to be academically sound. I'm like, so do a rap about education, the good parts of education, why you need to get an education, why it's important to have an education. I didn't know how well the child was going to do with that. This baby went home. He had a studio in his house, unbeknownst to me. So we never know what our kids are dealing with. He created his rap. He did the beat. He did the production for it. He made the track. He brought it to me. He showed it to me. He rapped for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The gems that we have, but we don't see them because we look at behavior. Had I not allowed that child to be able to participate in the program, we would have never known how great he was. And he participated and he performed his rap at the arts night because it was showcasing the students. It was a showcase. And from there, it was some other people in the audience that was into music that talked to him and wanted to work with him. So you never know what we're setting these kids up for when we allow them to do stuff, even outside of their behavior. There's something good in all of us. And there's some bad in all of us. So we got to get past it. So I believe we just need to continue to try to support our students, give them what they need, and allow them to be able to participate. But parents, we need your help. So if there comes a time where you have to chaperone your child because of their behavior, fine, do it. But just let them know. Next time you need to have yourself together where you can go by yourself. If you can't, you won't go. We need to start setting precedents. Don't be like, oh, well, I can't make it this time, but can you please, please, please let them go without me? They've already wreaked havoc. We reached out to you and asked you to do this long before now. So let's try to be supportive on both ends. Parents, if we're reaching out for your help to be able to keep them in control so they can go, or keep their behavior under wraps so they can go, then, do what you can. Do what you can to be there, or find somebody who's not working, somebody doesn't work those hours, that somebody that will be willing to come in and sit with them, maybe their aunt, grandparent, somebody, so that child can participate. But then they need to understand that next time you need to have yourself together so you can go by yourself. Those are the things we need to do, and we need to help our students with. We need to get them ready. So that's my soapbox for today. Yeah. Okay, my cat wants to come up here with me now. Now she wants to come and join me. Mm. Yeah. So we just need to make sure that we're preparing our kids so that they can know how to act and how to respond so they can go to places outside of the school and get their behavior in check. That's all. Work with us, parents. Work with us so we can work with them. Because we don't want to dismiss them. We don't want to keep them out of it. We want them to be able to participate. We want them to be able to participate, but they need to know how to act when they go out in public. They really do. Because if they're not doing what they need to do in school, and it's not something we're making up, because if your child has been written up and had to do reflections, then those were the reasons and consequences as to why they couldn't go without a chaperone. So it is what it is. So we need to try to make sure we're working with each other to make sure that happens. All right. I thank you all for joining me here tonight just to talk about, field trips and how we need to handle those. I appreciate you. If you have any comments, please put them in the chat, and I will check them later and I'll get back to you. All right. This has been your girl, Dr. Yvonne, the teacher that talks, and you have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed Teacher Talk Tuesdays with Dr. Yvonne. Tune in next time for more incredible stories, struggles, and triumphs.